Most men never realize this until it's already gone. A woman can laugh with you, sleep with you, even say she cares about you, and still not love you deeply. Because when a woman loves you madly, she does things most men completely overlook. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you've never seen these behaviors, then no matter what she said, she may never have truly loved you. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly where you stand. This isn't about romantic movies or cute gestures. This is about psychology. This is about what happens when a woman's emotional system locks onto one man and says, "This is my person." If you've ever wondered whether her feelings were real, conditional, or temporary, listen carefully, because love leaves patterns, and patterns don't lie. When a woman loves you madly, the first change happens quietly inside her emotional defenses. Every woman has protective walls built from past disappointments, broken trust, or moments where she had to be strong on her own. These walls are not drama, they are survival. In the beginning, she observes more than she reveals. She measures your reactions. She keeps certain thoughts private. Even if she seems open, there is still a layer of control. But when deep love begins, that control slowly fades. She starts allowing you to see parts of her she normally keeps hidden. This can look simple on the surface. She talks about childhood memories. She admits fears about the future. She shares insecurities she usually laughs off. She might tell you when she feels overwhelmed or uncertain instead of pretending everything is fine. This is emotional exposure, and it only happens when her nervous system feels safe with you. You may notice her body language soften. Her voice becomes calmer around you. She leans into silence instead of filling it. She becomes comfortable being vulnerable without turning it into a performance. This doesn't mean she suddenly becomes weak. It means she no longer feels the need to armor herself in your presence. She also begins trusting your emotional responses. She expects empathy instead of judgment. She allows herself to be seen on difficult days, not just good ones. That's important because attraction can survive on surface confidence, but love requires emotional safety. When a woman softens her defenses, she is not losing power. She is choosing connection. She is signaling that you are no longer just someone she enjoys, but someone she feels emotionally anchored to. This shift is subtle, but once it happens, everything about the relationship becomes deeper, calmer, and more real. When a woman loves you madly, the second change shows up most clearly during conflict. Disagreements stop being about winning and start being about protecting the connection. Early on, arguments can feel sharp. She may withdraw, become defensive, or use silence as control. That's because when emotional attachment is low, self-protection comes first. But when she truly loves you, something important shifts inside her. Even when she's hurt, upset, or emotional, she doesn't want to lose you. You'll notice that she doesn't disappear after arguments. She comes back. She wants to talk things through. She may need time to cool down, but she doesn't cut you off completely. Instead of trying to prove she's right, she starts trying to be understood. Her tone changes. Her words become softer. She explains her feelings instead of attacking your character. That's emotional maturity driven by attachment. She also becomes more willing to take responsibility. She admits when she overreacts. She reflects on her behavior. This isn't because she suddenly became perfect. It's because the relationship matters more than her ego. A woman who isn't deeply invested will let pride run the show. A woman who loves you madly chooses repair. You may also see her trying to understand your perspective, even when she disagrees. She asks questions. She listens. She wants to know what you felt, not just what you did. That curiosity is powerful. It means she sees you as a partner, not an opponent. Protecting the bond doesn't mean avoiding conflict. It means approaching conflict with care. When a woman loves deeply, she fights for the relationship, not against it. And that choice, made repeatedly during hard moments, is one of the clearest signs of real emotional commitment. When a woman loves you madly, the third change shows up in her consistency, especially when there is nothing to gain from it. Early attraction often comes in waves. Some days she's warm, other days distant. That inconsistency usually means she's still unsure, still evaluating, or still emotionally detached. But deep love creates steadiness. Her behavior stops depending on mood, convenience, or outside attention. She becomes reliable in small, everyday ways. You start noticing that she checks on you without needing a reason. She remembers things you mentioned weeks ago. She follows through on plans instead of constantly rescheduling. She stays emotionally present even when she's tired, busy, or stressed. This matters because anyone can be affectionate during exciting moments. Real love shows itself in ordinary time. Her care doesn't disappear when you're not physically together. She sends messages just to see how your day is going. She offers support when you're under pressure. She celebrates your wins and doesn't minimize your struggles. And she does this quietly, without needing praise or reassurance. That consistency comes from emotional attachment, not from trying to impress you. You may also notice that she treats you the same way in private as she does in public. There's no sudden drop in warmth once attention fades. She doesn't perform for an audience. What you see is what you get. This stability creates trust because you're no longer guessing where you stand. Consistency is powerful because it signals choice. She is choosing you repeatedly, not just emotionally, but through her actions. Attraction can be intense and unpredictable. Love is steady. When a woman loves you madly, she doesn't make you wonder. Her presence becomes a constant, grounding part of your life, and that reliability is one of the strongest indicators that her feelings are real and deeply rooted. When a woman loves you madly, the fourth change appears in how deeply she lets you into her inner world. This goes far beyond sharing daily updates or talking about surface level topics. She begins opening up her thoughts, values, doubts, and dreams. She tells you what's really on her mind, sometimes without being asked. She shares ideas that aren't fully formed yet. She talks about her fears for the future and her hopes for it too. This is emotional intimacy, and it doesn't happen casually. At first, most people keep their inner world protected. They reveal only what feels safe or impressive. But when love becomes real, she starts inviting you into the private spaces of her mind. She asks for your opinions. She wants to know how you see things. Your perspective starts to matter to her, not just emotionally, but mentally. She begins thinking in terms of we instead of only me. You may notice that she processes experiences with you. If something meaningful happens during her day, you're one of the first people she wants to tell. When she feels confused or overwhelmed, she comes to you instead of shutting down. That's trust. She is allowing you to influence how she understands her own life. She also becomes more transparent about her boundaries and needs. Instead of expecting you to guess, she communicates. This openness creates clarity and emotional safety on both sides. Letting someone into your inner world is one of the most vulnerable acts there is. When a woman does this with you, she isn't just sharing information. She is building a psychological bond. She is emotionally integrating you into her life. and that is a strong sign that her feelings have moved beyond attraction into deep, genuine love. When a woman loves you madly, the fifth change shows up in how she stops performing and starts being real with you. In the early stages of attraction, most people present a polished version of themselves. She tries to look her best, say the right things, and avoid showing flaws. That's normal. It's part of wanting to be chosen. But once deep love forms, that pressure slowly fades. She becomes comfortable letting you see her imperfect side. She doesn't hide bad moods as much. She talks openly when she feels tired, insecure, or overwhelmed. She may sit quietly with you instead of trying to entertain you. This isn't a loss of interest, it's the opposite. It means she feels emotionally safe enough to be herself without fear of losing you. You might notice she laughs more freely, even at herself. She doesn't overthink how she looks every moment. She shows up without needing everything to be perfect. That relaxed presence signals that she no longer feels evaluated. She feels accepted. She also stops chasing validation from you. Instead of constantly seeking reassurance, she assumes the connection is secure. Her affection becomes natural rather than strategic. She gives love because she feels it, not because she's trying to earn something in return. This shift is powerful because authenticity only appears when trust is strong. Attraction needs effort. Love needs comfort. When she allows herself to be real with you, she is telling you that she feels emotionally anchored. She believes the bond can handle honesty, vulnerability, and imperfections. At this stage, the relationship feels calmer and deeper. There's less pressure to impress and more space to simply exist together. That ease is one of the clearest signs that her feelings are no longer surface level. They have settled into something genuine, steady, and deeply rooted. When a woman loves you madly, the sixth change shows up in how she defends you when you're not around. This is subtle but incredibly revealing. Early in relationships, some women might tease you or criticize you lightly, sometimes even in front of others, just for social play or attention. But when love runs deep, her attitude shifts completely. She becomes protective of your image, your reputation, and even your feelings, even when she doesn't gain anything from it. You'll notice that she doesn't entertain gossip or negative comments about you from friends, family, or colleagues. She doesn't amplify mistakes or failures to gain sympathy or attention. Instead, she quietly sets boundaries, corrects misunderstandings, and sometimes even speaks up to defend your character without making it a big deal. This is emotional loyalty, and it's almost impossible to fake consistently. She also shows restraint when she's upset. Even if you've hurt her or disappointed her, she rarely attacks you behind your back. She holds respect for the relationship above momentary frustration or ego. That doesn't mean she ignores her feelings. It means she values you and the bond more than being right or venting publicly. Another sign is that she speaks positively about you when others ask. She highlights your good qualities naturally and shares her pride in you without exaggeration. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about protecting and aligning with you. Defending you when you're absent is one of the clearest indicators of love because it demonstrates loyalty that goes beyond convenience or emotion. It shows she has integrated you into her sense of identity and is invested in preserving the connection. This protective instinct is rare, deliberate, and unmistakable when it appears consistently. When a woman loves you madly, the seventh and most powerful change shows up in the way she chooses you repeatedly, even when it's inconvenient or challenging. Early attraction can feel intense, but it's often conditional. It appears when life is easy, exciting, or flattering. Real love, however, is different. It doesn't depend on mood, circumstances, or external rewards. She stays committed because she wants to, not because it's effortless. You'll notice that she makes an effort to be present, even on busy days. She prioritizes your connection over distractions, social events, or minor inconveniences. It isn't about obligation or guilt. It's about a conscious choice to invest in you and the relationship. She shows up emotionally and mentally, even when it's hard. That consistency and choice is a defining feature of deep love. She also makes compromises without resentment. Real love requires flexibility, and when she loves madly, she adjusts plans or adapts her approach to support the relationship. It's not a performance or a calculated move, it's a natural expression of care. Another sign is that she chooses to engage in the small, often invisible acts that keep a relationship strong. Remembering details about your life, checking in when you're stressed, celebrating milestones, and supporting your personal growth, all of these require attention and effort. She does them not for recognition, but because she genuinely values you. This repeated choice is perhaps the clearest signal of authentic love. While attraction can fade, attention can wander, and passion can fluctuate, the deliberate decision to choose you over and over is enduring. When a woman demonstrates this kind of commitment, it shows that her love is not temporary or superficial. It is intentional, steady, and deeply rooted in both her heart and her actions. When a woman loves you madly, the eighth change appears in how she invests mentally and emotionally in the relationship. This goes far beyond physical attraction or casual attention. She starts thinking about the long term, about how her actions affect you and the bond you share. She plans with your well being in mind, considers your feelings and decisions, and often reflects on how to make the relationship stronger. This level of investment is rare because it requires awareness, empathy, and a willingness to prioritize someone else's emotional landscape alongside her own. You may notice that she listens differently. She remembers details you might think are trivial and uses them to connect or support you later. She notices subtle changes in your mood or behavior and addresses them, not as a duty, but because she genuinely cares. Her focus is on understanding you, not just enjoying your company. She also engages with your inner life, asking questions, offering perspective, and sometimes challenging you gently to grow. This isn't criticism, it's an act of love, rooted in wanting the best for you. She mentally rehearses solutions to your problems, supports your dreams, and celebrates even small progress. Emotionally, she shares herself openly. She communicates fears, hopes, and insecurities, creating a deep two-way channel of connection. She doesn't hold back or manipulate to gain attention. Instead, she shows commitment by being emotionally present, reliable, and consistent. This mental and emotional investment is one of the most profound indicators of mad love. It signals that she isn't just present for moments of excitement or pleasure. She is fully engaged in your life, thinking about you, supporting you, and choosing to prioritize the relationship every single day. That depth of focus and care is rare, intentional, and unmistakably real. The truth is, love isn't just words, gestures, or fleeting passion. It shows up in patterns, in choices, and in the ways a woman allows herself to be vulnerable, consistent, and emotionally present with you. When a woman loves you madly, she softens her defenses, protects the bond even in conflict, shows up consistently, lets you into her inner world, stops performing and becomes real, defends you when you're not there, chooses you repeatedly even when it's hard, and invests in you mentally and emotionally every single day. These behaviors aren't random. They are deliberate, unconscious expressions of deep attachment and trust. They tell you something that words alone cannot, that she has integrated you into her life, her thoughts, and her heart. Real love is never conditional, performative, or temporary. It's steady, intentional, and unmistakable. If you pay attention, you'll recognize these signs. And once you do, you'll never confuse mere attraction, attention, or infatuation with true, enduring love. Understanding this doesn't just help you recognize when a woman loves you madly. It also teaches you how to nurture and honor that love when it appears. At the end of the day, love is not about games or guessing. It's about presence, choice, and alignment. And when you witness these patterns, you know one thing for certain. You are deeply loved, truly valued, and profoundly seen.